Well, welcome back to the Agri Challenge Academy of the class Geographic Information System in Pedology's last lecture. This is a lecture of last lecture in the Pedology syllabus regarding the geographic information. So, what kind of information you will get from geographic information? What the kind of you will get the information regarding the places of Earth. So, you will get the information regarding the places of Earth. You will get information regarding the what is the place of Earth. At the same time, knowledge about where is something. So we will get what is the knowledge about something, any object. We will get knowledge about the particular object on the Earth. Knowledge about the given location. It will give some locations by using GPS. Whenever nowadays soil sample was collected based on the GPS only. By using GPS, they will carry soil scientist will carry GPS and he will collect the sample and he will note down the GPS count. So he will note down what is the GPS reading in that, and based on the GPS reading only, he will prepare the thematic maps or soil fertility maps. At the same time, details may be very coarse or very detailed. Very detailed. It will sometimes very detailed or it will be very coarse. It will be very static. Information will be very static, and the information is very voluminous. The volume nature. The voluminous will be very high. The data collection will be very voluminous. So coming to the definition, students. What is a formal definition? See, the definition is a very simple thing. Definition should be a definition. It will give a clean idea what is the intention of the subject. So regarding the JS, a system, it is a system. JS is a tool or a system, or it's an application actually. To be very straightforward, it's a system for capturing, storing, checking, integrating, manipulating, analyzing, displaying data which are spatially referred to the this word is very important, which are spatially referred. So how the information was referred, how the information of the captured information, storing, checking, integrating, manipulating, and analyzing and displaying data which are completely referred in the form of spatial only. The data will be in spatial form only. So this is normally considered to involve a spatial referred computer database. Appropriate application of software is being used. So all this information is completely, the spatial information completely referred computer, which was referred in a computer database, and appropriate application of software. Mostly very famous software is very nothing but your ArcGIS. ArcGIS, mostly ArcGIS is being using nowadays. Very famous software for GIS application. Nowadays, very advanced versions are came. It's called ArcGIS Pro. ArcGIS Pro is now very advanced, and some people may go for QGIS, very open source. ArcGIS we need to pay, but QGIS is open source. Like this, there are many software packages are there. So based on the packages and data information and everything, we will analyze the information, or we will store, capture, or checking or integrating. We will do all those things. So GIS is a completely nothing but it's an analyzing tool for us for our benefit. So what are the departments, or what are the cross disciplines in present in our GIS? Mostly digital mapping, very important aspect in the preparation of soil science. Digital mapping, photogrammetry, already we have discussed it. Surveying, we know what is survey, being a soil scientist. Remote sensing, last lecture we have discussed it. Databases, nothing but what kind of data we are using, or how many databases we are using, and this is called CAD. In short, it's called CAD, or computer aided designs. So getting all this information, based on this CAD only, we will prepare the digital mapping. It's a CAD. Everyone, CAD is computer aided design. In short, we call CAD, CAD. So we go and use these computer aided designs and this digital mapping. So these all disciplines should be present in GIS. So combination of all the disciplines only we can achieve our target called GIS, the Geographic Information System. So these are the disciplines. Coming to the student, what are the components, students? What are the components we have? So very first, students, specific application or decision making objectives. Say for example, I want to know the fertility map of some Punjab or some other state. Like say for example, okay, I need a fertility status of Odisha. So I have planned for that. So I have decided, I have making my decision. So I want to make a fertility map decision. Then what should I do? And again, I have to arrange some computers. So I need a computer and some hardwares. We need some hardwares, anything. Maybe nowadays we can. And very olden days, when we were very kids, or when we are studying in the school days, we use floppies. Floppy was bland. Floppy is where floppies, and later on CD was came, and later on now at present and we are using cloud computing. We are storing all the information in cloud computers. Mostly nowadays we are using hardware, hard disks, or even pen drives. Even in phone also, mobile phone also, we are storing the information. So I need a computers and softwares and hardwares. I need software tools, as I said, ArcGIS and all this. So I need ArcGIS. So first of all, very first, or whenever we are going for GS, what should we do? First, should we go for a decision making? So what is our object? What is a fertility mapping? So being a soil scientist, mostly we much bothered about the fertility of soil. So we'll make, okay, I need a fertility search of Orissa. Then immediately I will go for a computer hardware and software. Generally nowadays, being a research, most of the research scholars will depend on the university. So mostly they will go for, if the university have a facility of the soil informatics lab, they will go and they will take all this stuff. And after, what they will do, they will collect the information from the surveying, all the inform all the ground survey, everything will happen, and they will get the spatial data means we will get like one image will be developed. So it will give a different meaning. Spatial data, the data may be vector data or raster data. The two types of that. In vector data also there is non-spatial data also is there. There are many things are there which is very in depth. We will see in slow by blow by blow manner. So these are the three important factors. So very first, specific application. Our aim should be clear, and we need some hardware and softwares, and we have to collect the spatial data. Based on the spatial data, we will classify and we will analyze for us. Coming to this, what makes data spatial? So how the data will be become spatial, students? Say for example, students, nowadays everyone are using GPS. All everyone we are using. Whenever I was stuck in Chennai city, usually what I will do, though I was visited some n number of times in Chennai city, still I confuse. So I use Google Maps. I will open my coordinates. I will see where I am sitting. Whether I was in Avadi or somewhere. Then what I will do, I will type my type where I have to go for. So GPS will guide me. The GPS will guide me, and I will go. I will reach my destination. But how the GPS was working else? How my information was gone to them? So I was located somewhere in the map like that will get. So that is the GPS manner. Now not like that. So until suppose say for example, this is a field. Imagine coming to the agriculture aspect. This is a field. We have one good farm is there. So I want to go. I want to. What I did, I divided all this into some grid pattern. Grid in a time longitude and latitude coordinates. I divide coordinate and I collect the samples here. I get some value in GPS. I get some 0.234 degrees like that. I will get some degrees like that. Some information I will get. So what is that coordinate? So if you, what make data spatial means, if you have a coordinate, placement, place name, postcode, or distance bearing, description, latitude and longitude. So for example, nowadays everyone were using doing online shopping. So we will order many things. We'll order books, we will order some electronic gadgets. Even nowadays we order for all our personal needs and everything. What they will give, they will give the postal code. Our post code also is one type of spatial data. Distance and bearing, how much distance is. Say for example, our product were manufactured in Haryana. Most of products were manufactured in Haryana, so it comes to somewhere in Bengaluru. So that's also a spatial data. Description, you will get some description also. So for example, if you buy one packet of suppose we buy one mobile phone, so they will be some description also in that label. They will give some description. So all the information is comes to the spatial data only. This is in general for understanding I'm saying. So this is the word. Any data is becoming spatial means you should be a grid coordinated. As this grid coordinated, especially grid survey. When we go for grid survey, we go all those things. And place name, we should have a place name, postcode, distance, description, and latitude and longitude of the particular earth. So this makes a good sense of a data spatial. So coming slides, it will give a very clear idea. So what can you do with GIS? So okay sir, what should I do with, what is the uses of GIS? What is the using of geographic information? What kind of assessment I can do? Mostly it is unlimited, students. We can use GIS anywhere. Nowadays GIS was using for ample of purposes. They're using for tactical missions, they're using for warfare, they're using for agriculture, engineering, even for medicine also they are using, especially the COVID-19 situation. Most of the maps and everything was completely designed by this GIS application only. So coming to this, what are the impacts? We can go for environmental impact assessment. We can assess the environmental impact assessment. So for example, mostly in our Indian meteorological department, whenever there is a floods or anything, in television, especially news television, they will show India map and they will show some white colors, things, all they will show in our television. So most of us, we know, we may not aware about that, but the company, they're using the technology called GIS. They use the geographic information system. They will assess the data. They will see the what is the cloud movement, what is the pressure movement is there. So everything was completely analyzed, and they will come to some assessment, and they will give the warning signal to the seashore area people. They will go for first round warning, second round warning, like that, and they will manage the disaster. And resource management, very important in the aspect of our soil science, resource management. So for example, In olden days, there is no such technology called GIS. What we are doing, we are indiscriminately we are using fertilizers. We have used urea indiscriminately. What happened? The excess amount of urea has been washed out into the drinking water rivers. So what happened when the drinking water, when the water was consumed by the pregnant woman, a woman that she was given a birth to the blue baby boy. So it's called the blue baby syndrome. So there's a mismanagement. There is a mismanagement of resources. So GIS will give a proper management of a valuable resource. And land use planning, generally surveyor people, especially surveying people who have the student or any PhD scholar or any MSc scholar doing a analysis or doing a research in land use planning will go for this. And tax mapping. This is very important, especially cadastral maps. Most of our cadastral maps are completely comes under this tax mapping only. Water and sanitizing mapping, especially yes, especially for cities like Chennai or Bengaluru or Hyderabad need this type of things. They need a very important, this very important water and sanitation, transportation routing, especially in airways students, aviation department, because there will be much flights. So always there are many flights. Always will be we fly in our sky. So all this should be monitored, should be monitored in a very precise manner. Otherwise, it will be a big problem. There will be a crash in the sky. So that's why the aviation transport routing, this is not only in aviation, even nowadays Indian Railways were using this and many more. We use many more even for disease assessment. What is it? When we go for any zinc deficiency, children are born in. So we use all this just for our this all this many purpose we use. And next we call how the GIS data has a spatial geographical department. So naturally, how the GIS will be occur, how the GIS will be works. How the GIS will be works. Mostly it has a data in a form of spatial, or you can say geographic reference. Mostly spatial is very famous for. So it will be spatial. The data will be spatial or completely geographic. This might be referred as a description features of the Earth using. Spatial data is nothing but we are using Earth features. So what is the spatial data? If we use latitude, longitude, national coordination system, an address, a district, wetland identifier, a road name. If we have all these things, say for example, I'm sitting in at present I'm sitting in Bhubaneswar. So in Bhubaneswar, I'm hearing some area called Ganganagar. I was sitting here. So I'm sitting. I'm giving some longitude, latitude, and I'm saying my national coordinating system. So I'm giving my pin address and I'm giving my address. Said I'm Bhubaneswar. I'm giving a district called Khurda, and I'm sitting in a wetland area. I'm giving a road name called O80 road name. So if I give all this information in a GIS, the data completely is called spatial data. GIS will consider it as a spatial data. This is called the, so if you have a any information like this, it's considered as the spatial data. In spatial data, there are many types are there. What are those types we will see? So very first students, GIS and databases. So GIS stores information about the world as a collection of thematic layers that can be linked together by geography. Thematic layers, students. So generally many layers of raster data. What are those layers? We will see in the coming slides. So the layer by layer. So for example, one layer we have discovered the roads, and another layer we will discover what is the public residential complex, another fertility status of soil. So all this layer by layer will go. That will be based on the that layers will be in a different type of data model, different spatial model. So what are the data? What the GIS will be provided? Data GIS will provide the integration. It will provide the data integration. So it will give the importance of the roads. It will give information about what kind of roads are there, what are the land passes, population, utility, landmines, hospitals, refugee camps, and wells and sanitation. So topology it will be mentioned, and vectors. This is the vector data. Surveying will go for most. Surveying will be in the angle formulas and annotations, and CAD designing, CAD drawings. Attributions will be there. We'll go for terrain analysis, addresses. Generally, we will give addresses and 3D images. Especially if you actually by seeing this slide, only person who have some experience by using GIS, you will have it is very easy to understand. But in GIS, we follow all these things. So very first, whether we take data and raster or vector, we use the vectors. We'll go for dimensions. We'll do survey, soil survey. Annotations. We'll give some annotations like annotation, some ABC, some coordinates, and we'll go for drawing, and we'll take images, and we'll give address for that particular soil. So whenever we draw any map, we will give the address for that particular soil sample, and we will see the terrain conditions or topographic conditions. What is the topographic conditions? What are the attributes are there? And we will go for 3D objects. We will give the images in a 3D form also, and we will give for the networking purpose. So these are all the integration. So we will integrate all this information in data, just with the data which is provided by the GIS. So what are the fundamental type of data types? So I'm talking many things about data, but data is very important. Data is, there are two types of data mostly found in spatial analysis. What are those? One is vector data and the one is raster data. Vector data is nothing but your coordinates. Vectors mostly in plus two, or anybody have experienced in a plus two or intermediate. In Andhra Pradesh we call intermediate, in Tamil Nadu we call plus two, in Karnataka it's called PU. It's nothing but after 10th class we read one core 2 years course that is called the plus intermediate in my area. So in that, in mathematics we have seen vector. In vector data we will have in data only in form of coordinates. We will have only in the form of coordinates, the xy coordinates. Discretely, and this coordinates and this information will be represent in points, lines and polygons. Best example, students, your maps. So you open your Google Maps, you will see many residential complexes or many road lines you can see. So whenever you use a GPS or whenever you open a Google map, you will definitely will find this type of vector. And coming to the raster data, it's a grid and cell survey. Best example for you students, whenever you took a photograph, you just zoom it, zoom extra, you zoom more and more. What will happen? Your complete image will be a very blur. You will get a very blur image, and you will see small boxes will come, small dotted, some blurred image come. Actually that blur is nothing but each and every point. So for example, you're taking one image, I will show you that in that image, if you zoom it very deep, you will get some blurring image and you will see some box things will come. So each box will have some pixel length. So here the information is recorded in pixels, in pixels. Information will be in pixels, but here not like that. Here it will be in a coordinates. In vectors, it will be in a coordinates, but here it will be in a pixels. It will be in a pixels. Mostly for continuous, for elevation, slope surfaces, it will be there. And mostly this raster data is very important in our agriculture aspect, especially in soil science. We go for this raster important. Mostly desktop should be available, especially when, as I said, this we have to go for we need a GS application to draw this vector and raster data. So how it looks, sir. So what are the characteristics? So these are the two types of data: vector data, raster data. I hope you are clear. But we will see very what we will see what is the clear cut. But before that, what is the characteristics, sir? What is the characteristics of spatial data? We need a description, postcode, grid reference, and longitude latitude, which I always giving information. So here I'm giving description: Kingston University, Fernan Road Center, postal code KT1, reference grid. This is a reference grid. This is the longitude latitude. Or otherwise, you can keep some Indian names. So I will give description OAT, postal code some 719002, and grid reference. I will give some number. I will give some number, and longitude will get some number. So this will so spatial data very first. If you in spatial data you will get location. That location will be given like this. The computer will read like this only. And another one, geometry. So very first is location. Spatial data location will be like this. Another one is called geometry. Shapes. How the shape of the building. So there is some big buildings are there, some open area, big buildings, and river route, and shape of the landscape or relief, etc. So we will see all those things in geometry, in spatial data. Topology, we'll go for kind of how it is. So connecting to with Royal Broad, Kingston upon Thames. Actually, this is from taken from British. That's why information is like this. So within, so it will give topology. Within, opposite to the survey counter council building, adjacent to north and south. So it's just giving some, we are getting some information regarding the topology. So spatial data examples. What are the social economic data? Mostly regional health, consumer lifestyle profiles, and geodemic graphics. Regional health, mostly we use medical persons will be your consumer and lifestyle, mostly e-commerce people are your geodemic graphics, and environmental data is nothing but topography. This actually we mostly use this one, students. Being agriculture, we use more. But the person who are coming from social sciences, they use this. Even extension people also can use GIS. So environmental data, we will get topographic data, thematic data, soils and geology. So conditions. So mostly we use this data on environmental data. That too we use more. We'll prefer the raster data. Mostly agriculturists will prefer raster data because we use images, satellite images, etc. So coming to the next, this is the modeling, students. So for example, this is an image. This is the future. There's the buildings. What you can see here? You can see building, some roads, One lab columns will be there, some gas pipes will be there, then and then the gas pipes will be there, some CCTV will be there, road surfaces are there. So these are the futures in step 1. So by seeing this image itself, you get all this information. But in step 2, what you will do? After getting this image, we will decide this. But in step 2, we have to give a points. So we have to represent in a points. If it is any specific location landmark, we go by points. Or if it is a road line or railway line, we have to give lines. Polygon means is nothing but any house or any building is there, you have to go for polygons. Mostly is all complete. These points and lines are followed in vector data only. So this is what, students. Yeah, this image was completely transformed like this. So in very first step, you will see we will take image like this. Then we will decide points, lines, and polygon. In step 2, we will draw the map like this. Mostly, actually, if you blur this image, if you zoom this image, you will get some pixels. Some small pixels will get. So if you use GIS software, if you click that one small this thing, you will the GIS will give the that pixel length, how much pixel length is there. So we'll get all this. Actually, that meaning, especially some secret agencies like RAW IS, they're using that pixel length for the transforming of information. Military secrets also can be transformed with that. So this is the data model. So completely attributes. Attribute data is a non-spatial. Here also, this is what in attribute will be very specific. We can get next. What is the next name? What is the marketplace? What is the town area? Telephone number of this. All this we can get in attributes data. So this is what, students. So spatial data stores in vector model. Vector model will be like this, student. Completely points, lines, and polygons. But in raster, everything will be in a pixel. Everything will be in a pixel. So each and every pixel will have some numbers will be there. Every some pixel length will be there. By combination of all these pixels, we will get the information what kind of image it is, what kind of things are there. Just example. So spatial data, which I've said all these things, so it is nothing but it's a file optimizing tool handling. We have to go for hybrid approaches. We go for many works. This is nothing what I explained in my previous slides. Theoretical part only, just for reading purpose. I kept this slide here. You can go for analysis of the spatial data. You can see the potential of application. You can go for hybrid analysis, and we can go for some manipulating of data, all those things. So coming to the next, students, vector data model. As I said, this is the theory. For your reading purpose, I have given this slide. Just for theoretical purpose, we can go for what we can do here. We can go for map polygons, and we can go for complex or the transport networking. We can give some topology example also. We can go. This is regarding the vector data model. Raster data, as I said, is completely depend upon the pixel length performance. So modeling of real world, how it will be, students. So very first we will see the ground truth, then we will go for a vector model, then we'll give some points, and this is the vector model, students. So if we will go for vector model, we'll give dots and lines, and some polygons will be give, and finally we will give some points will be give, xyz coordinations will be give, and finally, and again we can go like this. If we are not interested in this, we'll go for raster data. Here we will give some pixels, and finally the complete here we'll give some coordinates will be there, and here also we'll give here here the coordinates and numbers will be there, but here we'll get some pixel lengths will be get. So like this, we will store the information. So we'll model this one area can be represented like this. So in computer can read only this. So computer can read only this type of thing. So this is a vector data, another vector data. This is a good image of vector data. See, there is no pixel length or nothing. If you zoom this, nothing will be there. You won't get any blurred image. But this is what, students. See, students, this is a small image. If we go for very deep, especially in Google Maps, if you goes on zooming, you will get like this. So each one box, actually if I show in a GS application, you can get that number. If you upload this image in GIS, if you click here, it will give some pixel length. So this is a pixel length, these are readings. So that length will be recorded in our computer. This is called the raster data. This is finally will come to. So finally what we'll do, these are the layers. So data representation, how we are going to represent, this is the real world. This is the real world. Then we'll do the vector analysis. Like this, we'll give some, this is the forest area, these are the lake, this is the marshland, and these are grassland, we'll go there. But when we convert this vector into another layer called raster data, we will get some lines, grids, and everything. All the pixel length will come. So finally, we will get the raster data. So these are the lens. These are the layers of GS representation. So other features, what are the production of cartographic products? So I know what is a cartography. Anybody have idea? What is a cartography?
Making maps.
Yes, yes, right. Making maps, drawing maps is called the cartography. By using all this information, we can go for cartographic mapping and generate and maintain the data. Especially using data, that maintaining data is very important. Which is where and use of a share and geographical models. We can use those data for geoprocessing models. Also, we can go for geo databases using data models for each sector. So based on the sector. So for example, students in 1995 the Hyderabad city is different, and in 2020-21 Hyderabad city is different. So if we have a maps of these two cities in those, so we can compare, we can see how long the city was extending. And there is another term called buffering, which is very in-depth knowledge, which is only up to your point because we are reading for examination purpose. The buffering means nothing but they will draw the circles. So in each circle, first circle, the city was intensity was like this, and the subsequent circle, the intensity of city is like this, the greenery is like this, whether the greenery was reducing or improving. So that is called the buffering, which is not that we know. No, we may not to go for that much depth. So you will see next. So hint having GS software does not have a cartographic level. Generally students, if you have a GS software, doesn't mean that you are a cartographer. So cartography is different solution. So good to know something about these issues, especially when creating a map. So you have to know the scale and resolution. You have to know the scale resolution. Projections. Actually, there are many type of projections in there. Central projection, pole projections, and azimuthal projections. So that all comes under the cartography. So just keep the names with you, the projections and basic cartography principles are should be known. So whenever you're going for a GS, whenever you're going for a GS scientist or you want to become a GS analyst, you have to know all these things about the projections and cartographic map projections. So these are the rapid evolution students. Very first students, we have to go for integration. We have to set some projects and we go for some systems. We have to use some coordinate systems we have to use, and we have to cooperate with other departments. Then only we can. And finally, we have to use that as a social collaborator. So like this is a rapid evaluation of GS. So GS will be used like this. So overall students problem statement. For example, we first formulate the question and mitigate so we will formulate the question and we observe the data. For example, we have some problem, that's why I put a question mark here. Some problem we have to go for formulate the question, and we have to see the what is it. For example, some soils were effective salt effective soils. Then we have get some question and we observe and acquire the data. So we get some data, what is the condition, all those things, and we will analyze with the help of this thing: geospatial data, ground-based data, other ancillary data, and socio-economic data, everything. So we get all the information, we will analyze it, and we go for solution. So what is the condition? So okay, we get some problem. So there is salt problem, everything. So we go for seek solutions. Finally, we go for mitigation changes. So all this thing, so it is very simple diagram, but there's a lot of things. We use GS mapping, we go for ground truth, we go for surveying everything, and we use the cartographic techniques, and we go for image processing also. So like this, we go for mitigation. So these are the decision making. So GS is the decision making. GS is an helpful for in each and every field. Coming to the spatial data infrastructure. What is it? We need a infrastructure definition, that the technology, policies, standard, human resources, and related activity necessary to the acquire, processing, distribute, use, maintain, and preserve the spatial data. So spatial data infrastructure means this is what. Especially students, I'm just saying the spatial data. If you want this data, each and institute they will charge more than 10,000 in Indian currency. Want a very small area, they will charge for up to 10,000 rupees. If you are a student, no problem. You can go for recommendation from the university, then you can get this data of the particular coordinates. But getting the data spatial data is very difficult. So these overall students, this is a world. What we'll go for? We go for inventory. We'll have some geographic information, and we'll make some decision and we'll apply to our world, and find it was benefited to the citizens. So GS is ultimately for useful for our citizenship purpose. So what are the benefits of the GS students? Nothing but better information management. We need a high quality analysis, ability to carry out what if the scenario is. So we have to see what is the if. Well, what if. So you always see. For example, okay, there is a salt problem is there. So what should we do? Then we all some okay, there is not only a salt problem. What if there is a sodium problem also is there in soil? Ultimately, we have to get ready for that one also. So that's why the GS is benefit like this and improve the project efficiency. Yes, this is very important. The efficiency will be more important. The efficiency will be improved a lot in project efficiency than going for a orthodox method of analysis. So efficiency, especially doing drawing a map of entire district was very beneficial. Once we get the map of entire map, it's very easy. We can give the fertilizer requirement. Not like that. If you go regularly, if you do soil analysis by field by field means it is very hectic, and we need to spend a lot of money also. So it's a money saving thing. GS is a money saving thing. So overall, the GS applications, as we know, it is a facility management, marketing related, environmental, transport, health insurance, etc. These are the uses. So overall students, so these are the things which I want to say about the GS. In this lecture, mostly you have to know what is a GIS. That is very important. You have to know about the GS, what is the GS application. Mostly this is an SRF syllabus, but JRF students, you also have a small part is there. They will just ask you what is a GS, something, what, how you have to use, what is the definition. Based on definitions, you will get something. But only thing in this lecture is very important, type of data. The only thing is called raster data, the thing which I repeated in many slides, especially in this one, vector model, raster model, all those things. So we have to, this in this lecture, this is very important.